Hello, and welcome to Colored Commentary. I'm TJ, and I'll be talking about Warner Brothers' HBO Max release, day and date release in theaters and on HBO Max, The Matrix Resurrections. It was so good to see this fourth live action installment of The Matrix come to life and finally be here and to see it and to hear the music and to see the characters and to listen to the Matrix lingo. You got to be a bit cerebral, to get with the Matrix, and I love that because it makes you think about some stuff, and ponder your own existence and the way the world works and how things be sometimes. I really enjoyed this movie. It was good. I really like this. I am a Matrix fan. I'm not a super fan. I don't know ins and outs and everything. I can't remember all things from the Animatrix. But I didn't read the comics, but I still am a fan of the movies. I love these movies. They're great. And now it's time for spoilers. Okay. Um, The Matrix Resurrections. Awesome freaking movie. You gotta be listening. You gotta be listening to what they're saying and how they talking about stuff. It's great. I love this movie. Started off with some people going through some old code that they found, and they didn't understand what the old code was about. But then they, the girl, the White Rabbit. Also, by the way, I'm not good with names. You guys from previous videos may know that. But yeah, so I might refer to people by their plot device names, or I might refer to them by their real actors' names if I don't know the character name. So just to let you know. So the White Rabbit chick, who also is the captain of the ship that they're gonna end up on later, is investigating this code, trying to see what's going on with it, and it's like a replay of the original Matrix. And she's looking at what's happening, like, this is not what's supposed to happen. This is not how this goes. I'm familiar with this. I know what this is. No, this ain't what's supposed to happen. So then they do some more investigating to come to find out, as we switch back to Neo after all of this investigation, a raw ass opening scene with the action. He's a game coder. Get into that. He's a game developer. Oh, wow. And The Matrix is one of the best-selling games from Warner Brothers in the Matrix world. I thought that was awesome. They also want to do another set of the games, i.e. the movies. So this was very much a commentary on sequels in this movie, and how people love nostalgia and how it makes them feel good and how they fall into that trap over and over and over again. So yeah, that was interesting in and of itself. But turns out he was running a code. He had been running it for quite some time, and what it was doing was basically making the programs inside what the program that he was running become sentient. And one of those programs he was running was a program that he had made of Morpheus. And so after all this time of this program running over and over and over and over and over again, it finally became sentience, and Morpheus was like, I'm Morpheus now, and I need to find Neo. And he ran into the rabbit chick. They will start working together. She got him out of the Matrix, and that's when we find out that the machines and the humans are working together. After all this time, the machines and the humans are working together. There are machines that are not with what's going on with the Matrix, and they don't agree with it, and they don't want to be a part of it. And they themselves, after gaining sentience, want to be individuals as well. They don't want to be part of that collective. So, the humans got some machines on their side, which is great because they needed them later when they needed a couple of the machines to help get Neo out of his tube thing when they finally did wake him up, which was hilarious because he didn't want to believe it at first. Morpheus showed up at his job, didn't want to believe it. Then there was a whole shootout going on there. Then that's when Agent Smith got woke up, boy, because everything was falling apart in the Matrix itself. So then, Agent Smith didn't know that he had been basically neutered, and he wasn't with that, so he immediately went back to what he was trying to do, which was kill Neo. Mr. Anderson. Okay, here we go. So that whole fight ensues. They get Neo up out of there eventually, but in the process of getting Neo out of his tube and waking him up, he sees that right across from him, because they got these two motherfuckers separated, is Trinity. And I'm like, oh my God. And she was starting to wake up a little bit. He had already been running into her at a coffee shop. Come to find out, they don't even look like themselves. They can see each other how they supposed to look, but nobody else in the Matrix sees them that way. They look like old people. It's hilarious. And her name in the Matrix is Tiffany, and she's not a fan. Yeah, she's not a fan. So, Trinity's still in there trying to, and so of course they get Neo out. He wants to, of course, so once he sees her, get her out. They take him to the new city, human city, not Zion, but Io, which has grown substantially. It's huge. They even have started, working with moisture from the Earth's core to make, clouds and stuff so they can have, some kind of atmosphere while they in there and things like that. It was awesome. It was pretty to see. It was gorgeous to look at. I was like, okay, the city is coming up, and who's the general running the city? Niobe, Miss Jada Pinkett herself. Oh yes, and they made sure that she looked old, because apparently it's been 60 freaking years. Trinity and Neo had died in the last Matrix movie, but the robots put them back together, which kind of makes sense if you think about it, because I mean the machines have been having these human bodies on tap all this time. They know everything about humans, so of course they would fix them up, you know what I'm saying, know how to do some little surgeries here and there and make them better. So that was why Neo and Trinity were, one, still alive, and two, looking as young as they was, because they was in that damn fluid by themselves. Oh wow, it was crazy. But Niobe's old. She went in the city, and she wasn't a big fan of Neo showing back up, because she like, we didn't have peace all this time, and peace and quiet, and now you come back. What's finna happen? What's finna happen? Is the machines finna come here and tear up our brand new city that we like and love so much? Let's hope not. So the Captain Rabbit chick, yeah, she went up against the general and got Neo up out of there, out the city, and then they went on a mission to try to get Trinity back. Yeah, didn't go out so great, because the analyst, yes, the I don't know if you guys remember from the last Matrix movie, but the dude in the white suit that was basically like running everything and had set up the Matrix. Yeah, it's a new guy now. He's the analyst, and he's Neo's psychiatrist. So yeah, he been trying to make sure the Matrix runs smooth, and he realized that with Neo and Trinity inside the Matrix, things run a lot smoother. People have a lot more power. The machines using the power from the humans, initially after the last Matrix movie, it was a war with the machines, because some of the people did want to leave, and they left. They had the right to leave, they left. Some of the people didn't. A lot of people now, they've basically tricked them into their phones into not leaving. So the majority of humans still, they're aware of it, but they don't really care to know. They're like, I'm going to stay in the Matrix. Which, if they knew it was going to happen to them later, they wouldn't have made that decision. They would have got the heck up out of there. I mean, for real, it's terrible. Because in the boss fight at the end, man, I mean, people got turned into bots, basically. Their bodies got took over by the Matrix and used as suicide bombers and all kind of stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. If I was in the Matrix, I'd be pissed, because now I'm dead because you used me to stop some other bull crap. That ain't cool. It was terrible. But when they did get together in that final boss fight, though, it was awesome. And it was something about Neo. He couldn't fly, but he had this new, I ain't gonna call it a new EMP power, but it was like a push power, where he was pushing stuff and pushing people and pushing things. And then it was something about him and Trinity connecting together that made it even more powerful. And to realize that it wasn't ever just Neo being the one. It was both of them all the time. It was always both of them, and now she can fly and do all the stuff that he was doing before, and it's awesome. When they finna remake the Matrix, that's how it went off. They're gonna remake the Matrix. I can't wait to see what the next Matrix movie is gonna be about, because it's supposed to be 2 more. Supposed to be. Come on, Warner Brothers. You can do it. Man, this story was so good. It was so good. They went through a lot. And that was basically it. It was waking Neo up, getting him out, trying to get Trinity, failing, and then trying to get Trinity again. The analysts using bullet time against them to slow them down, to torture them. It was hilarious. I loved it. I'm like, I never would have thought that. The fights between Neo and Agent Smith, classic. Oh my God. And they whooped each other's asses. I loved it. Then he had to have Agent Smith come help them in the end, because Agent Smith was pissed that he had been neutered in the first place. So he wanted to get to the analyst too. And the analyst, he shot him up real good, but it's the Matrix, so he just took another body and came back around and trying to do some stuff. Deja Vu Cat wasn't helping, because the bell on the cat was what was keeping Neo in the trance. Yeah. And Anna's like, oh, y'all, you freed yourselves. What you gonna do now? Oh, we're gonna do everything we want to. We're gonna make sure people understand they do have a choice. Even if they forgot they had a choice, we're gonna remind them, basically. Man, this movie was great. I really enjoyed this. I'm glad to see them back. They top tier powerful now. Trinity is badass. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Out of 10, I would have to give this movie at least an 8. I mean, it was good. I mean, the story might have been a little better. They've been locked up for 60 years and all of that. And I mean, we could have got a little more explanation on that, what happened to the actual Morpheus and things like that. I mean, they mentioned him and how he was running the city after that, but he didn't believe that the machine. He believed in the peace that was set, and he didn't think that the machines were gonna come and try to take them back, but they did, and that's how he ended up going down. But yeah, this was a great movie. I enjoyed this so much. I cannot wait to the next ones. It's definitely an 8. I gotta give it an 8. Um, that's The Matrix Resurrections, fourth live action installment of the Matrix franchise. Hope you guys enjoyed the movie, and I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Feel free to comment down below, and I'll see you guys another time.